What's up guys, it's Rogue here, back at it again with another amazing video on the channel. So, right on the money, right on schedule, we have a brand new video for you guys. And before we get into it, I just want to say, if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure you obliterate the like button to let me know to make more of this. Share your thoughts down in the comment section down below as I reply to every single one. And if you guys are new around here or you enjoy my beautiful face, make sure to subscribe as we are aiming for 5,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. Also, if you guys want to support the channel a bit further or you guys want to meet and duel me, make sure to check out the Discord server links all over the channel. Get yourself in there, get yourself dueling against me. Well, that's enough of me. Let's get straight into the video. So starting off with the deck profile, we have triple of Rescue Ace Airlifter freshly off the limited section, now unlimited. Obviously we did pay a price for that, losing the original Sinful Spoils, which I think was actually a amazing way to get into Hydrant. So even though we gained 2 Airlifter, we actually still lost consistency, and Rescue Ace is a deck where consistency was always a little bit of an issue. So we got to keep that in mind while deck building and with the choices I've made. But we have triple of the Rescue Ace Airlifter. I'm glad he's back at 3. Would suck if he was at 1 with no OSS, so there's that. He's a Warrior Fire level 4, and on normal or special is going to be able to add a Rescue Ace spell from the deck to the hand. And when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you contribute this card from your hand or face-up field and special summon 1 Rescue Ace monster from your hand. So most of the Warrior Rescue Aces have an effect that you can use when your opponent activates a monster effect. Impulse, for example, is actually very good into the Detonator, because you can, if that's if that's the highest attack monster they have, you can normal the Impulse, actually use the effect to switch off the Detonator, and if they chain Detonator to pop Impulse, you can chain Impulse, and then again, yes, they can chain the Raziel Detonator, but they wouldn't have anything on your side of the field to pop at that point because Impulse has tributed himself off the field. So it's actually alright. Airlift does come up sometimes as well. When they activate something that targets from monster threat, you can just chain the Airlifter to dodge. So they got to keep that in mind as well. Not many people know about that effect, so it's just good to know. For a 2 of now, that's pretty much the only 3 of we play. We play double Rescue Ace Hydrant. Don't play 3. By himself, he is not full Rescue Ace combo, which is annoying. Airlifter is. Hydrant is needed in the deck. 1 is very risky, I'd say. I like having 2 copies just because you want him on your end board pieces because he powers up your traps and those spells, and he's just very, very good in terms of he's a monster search, which is good. He basically cannot be targeted by card effects or by attacks, and he allows you to activate a quick play spell or trap the turn that it was set. So it's actually a really good card, but unfortunately he's not a full combo on his own. For the one-offs, I play 1 Rescue Ace Turbulence. Why am I playing 1? I've played 2 for the longest times, back before the Airlifter. Well, back before I get a couple of formats ago when I was big on the Rescue Ace, I played double Turbulence for the longest time, and bricking was a bit of a problem. I won lots of events, however, I lost a lot of events because I kept opening double Turb, and unfortunately by himself he doesn't do anything. You actually need to be playing the game for Turb to do something, so I'm playing 1 copy. He is still one of the win cons. He's not as good this format anymore because Malice can dodge all of your stuff. However, if you can resolve set 4 is still amazing. Obviously, you get 4 free cards. And you obviously have to play the 4 cards you want to set as well, which is another problem, but I'll get to that when we get to the spells and traps. But he's very good. Unfortunate that he doesn't work on his own. Same can be said for the Preventer. I was playing 2, down to 1. Again, doesn't do anything on his own. Is insane though. And even though I only play 1 copy, I did add the field spell to put him back into the deck because you do use him a lot. You can arguably play 2. He's not like Turbulence because he's actually needed for the opponent's turn as well because you go through a couple. However, with 1, you can still do your combo. You just got to make sure you have the field spell to put it back into the deck to effectively have the copy again to summon off your emergency during your opponent's turn, but he's still amazing. Banishes a Rescue Ace card, specials himself, and when he leaves the field, he summons a banished Rescue Ace monster, which is fantastic. And if he's on the field with another Rescue Ace, he's a quick effect Book of Moon, which is really good against stuff like Duo Drive. The 1 Rescue Ace Impulse serves again as a really good rotor target if we already opened the Airlifter, because he's also a warrior. He also acts as a hand trap, able to special summon a Rescue Ace machine from our deck during our opponent's turn, or whenever really when they activate a monster effect. So really, really good. That is it for the monsters. For the spells and traps, triple emergency card is probably one of the best pieces of support I've ever seen a deck receive. This is how we play through a lot of hand traps. We can dodge stuff like Veiler, stuff like Imperm, other stuff that targets as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is really, really good way to dodge it. On a quick effect, specials are Rescue Ace from the deck. In defense, tribute to Rescue Ace monster from the field or hand. And then during the main phase, you can banish this card and target one Rescue Ace trap in the grave and set it. So it's a really, really good card. We have one Rescue, one Alert, and one Rescue Ace HQ. I added this back in just because we're playing one Preventer, and it also gives 2 normal summons, which is obviously very good. The reason I wasn't playing it originally is because I did have a higher amount of Turbulences and Preventers, basically deeming it so that I didn't really need this card. However, now I feel like you should play it. We have one Rescue, which is a quick effect monster reborn. If you control Hydra, it can steal from your opponent's graveyard, which is really good when you take some Fiend Smith cards. We have an Alert, which is a add back from the grave unless you control Hydrant, which is then it becomes a quick play Rota. And we have the Rescue Ace HQ, which gives attack boost, gives you an additional normal summon of a Rescue Ace monster every turn, and basically can target 4 banished Rescue Ace cards and put them back into the deck along to decide to draw a card. And we don't play Prosper anymore, so we can always do that draw now, which is really nice. And for the last two, one Extinguish and one Contain, a Pop and a Monster Negate is a Call by the Grave essentially as well, if you have Hydrant on the field when you activate it. And a Contain is like a no material. As long as you have Hydrant on the field and you activated it, they cannot be used for Fusion Synchro Xyz or Link summons, which is really good into stuff like Malice. However, Malice can very easily dodge these things because our deck likes to target with Preventer, Turbulence Pop, Extinguish, Contain, and Malice have those trap cards which can dodge them. So you've got to be very careful and wary about that. That is it for the Rescue Ace part of the deck. I believe it's like 16 Rescue Ace cards, so it's a fairly chunky engine. And now let's get on to the supporting engine. This could either be Azamina or Fiend Smith. I have gone for Fiend Smith because Rescue Ace already has a good grind game, so I think putting it into a deck, into an engine that has a really good grind game as well is a positive. I know Azamina has a grind game, I just believe Fiend Smith has a better grind game. And Fiend Smith Engraver gives you access to Nibiru, which you can make before you commit your Rescue Ace plays, which is very important because you can do a lot of targeted negation. However, Nibiru can still cook the Rescue Ace board in terms of it will get rid of the board that you've built during your opponent's turn. You can get it back. However, Engraver and the Fiend Smith package basically gives you a Nibiru proof board because you can make the DDD high Wave King, and you can also make, if you can make the Wave King with Mud Dragon, they can't even imperm or chain anything in response to your DDD that targets. So this is something that deck can do, and in that case, you can just, with all the confidence in the world, you won't get Nibiru'd because you have a Mud Dragon and you have a DDD, essentially meaning that your DDD is going to resolve every time. But Triple Engraver, if you don't know what he does, you probably haven't been too much looking into the meta, but that's fine because we are rogue tier. And you discard this card and it adds a Fiend Smith spell or trap. Usually add Tracked because that's your main card to add. If he's in the grave, he can reborn himself, and the link monsters that equip themselves, he can send them to the grave alongside one card your opponent controls, which is very, very good. We play one Lacrima, the Crimson Tear, because this is your main summon off of the Fiend Smith Link 1. It can dump Engraver straight to the graveyard, giving you more access to Light Fiends. We have the one Fable Luri, because this is a really good target to add and then discard off your Tract, which we play. Tract adds a Light Fiend and then discards one card from your hand, and Luri, when discarded, special summons himself. So it's a match made in heaven. And we play the one Fiendsmith Sanct. You could play Fiendsmith in Paradise, however, I think playing Fiendsmith Sanct is better because, as I said, you want a way to beat Nibiru before committing to any of your Rescue Ace plays, and Sanct does that over Fiendsmith in Paradise. That's it for the Fiendsmith part. Let's get on to the non-engine. We got triple Nibiru himself. We fear him, but we also play him. We have triple of the Ash Blossom. It's a fire, so we can recycle it with Sunlight Wolf plays, so keep that in mind. We have triple Effect Veiler for targeted negation against stuff like Duo Drive. And we have triple Droll and Lockbird. This could be full loss, however I don't own any copies because I am poor, so I'm just playing Droll and Lock. Helps out our opponent's full losses with Ash Blossom, so we have 6 ways of outing full loss in a form of hand traps with Droll and Ash. We also have triple infinite impermanence, taking us up to 15 hand traps in the main, which I think is a very good number. And impermanence, again, is just an insane card. We play one call by. This is, again, to help beat Fuwa loss. It's also one of our only answers to Shifter. Under Shifter, we can do Turbulence, but we can't do much else. So at least we have a play. However, call by is always nice to play. One Rotor for consistency, because we have some important warriors. And for the 41st card, we have one for one, as this allows us to trade our useless hand traps going first into Hydrant, which is really, really good. Hydrant, Search, Airlifter, and in that case, if you haven't used your normal, Hydrant is full combo. So that is it for the main deck, 41 cards. Let's now move on into the extra deck. For the extra deck, let's start off with the Link 4. We got the Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambler Whale. We play this because we also play, of course, the Promethean Princess, and this is a way to out ourselves of the Firelock. It's also just a really good combo in general because Promethean Princess can reborn your Turbulence. So on summon, if your opponent fears an emergency, they will usually hit your Turbulence with a Veiler or an Imperm, which means it's negated. However, you can link off that Turbulence, go into a Promethean Princess, and with Princess, revive your Turbulence again, and then use the effect. So they effectively have to have 2 negations to stop your Turbulence. And if they wait, for example, if they wait for you to use the Turbulence effect, you will have an SP already, so you can chain the SP. So either way, your Turbulence will resolve most of the time because you'll have Turbulence SP, and if they wait for you to use the effect, you can dodge it. And if they use it on summon, you can link off Turb and SP into Princess, and that way you can reborn the Turb and then get the effect. And then when the Amphibious Swarm Ship is on the field, if it is destroyed by Promethean Princess, which can summon itself, you can reborn a Link 2. That usually doesn't happen unless you put a Link 2 like Wolf in the graveyard, which we do play, because unfortunately when Princess comes back, you are Firelocked. However, if they do destroy it without the Princess, you can bring back an SP, so keep that in mind. We play the one Salamangreat Great Sunlight Wolf because it's just a very good way of either outing your Promethean Princess lock as well, or adding back Ash Blossoms from the graveyard as well. We play one SP Little Knight. It's mandatory in a deck like this because we can make it under before we make a Turb, and then if they use anything to negate Turb when we use the effect, we can SP it until the end phase and resolve Turb, because Turb's pretty important. We have one IP Masquerena. If we don't need to do any of that play, if our opponent didn't open any hand traps and we are allowed to just combo freely, we can make an IP and save the SP for the opponent's turn. I still play the Proxy Magician package, for one of the reasons being you can make Mud Dragon, which, let me get him out when I find him. You can make the Mud Dragon, which you can call fire and protect Turb from targeting. Mud Dragon is also a water, meaning when you make him and you have the DDD Wave King, it basically means your DDD Wave King is unable to be hand trapped, which is fantastic because Nib you can negate with the DDD, and Imperm Veiler can't be used because of Mud Dragon. So really, really cool little combo there that not many people do. And of course, we can make Proxy with the 2 effect monsters, and then using a Preventer, we can basically fill the whole condition for Proxy F Magician. It's super easy to make this, to utilize this card in Rescue Ace. And of course, the one Mud Dragon for reasons I said. We have the one Moon of the Closed Heaven. This is how we bridge between Rescue Ace and Fiend Smith very effectively. We have the one Relinquished Anima in a QCR. Thank you, Tins. This is obviously because we play Hydrant, so we can punish people that don't respect the zones, or we can just get Hydrant in the grave to banish for Preventer plays. We have the Chaos Angel because we play a couple level 4s in the Airlifter, and also the Fiendsmith package is actually very good at making a Chaos Angel if need be. And for the Fiendsmith stuff, we don't play the Agumde because there's not really enough space. We play one Sequence, one Requiem, one Desiree, one Princess, and then of course the DDD Wave Hiking Caesar, which I've been going on about all profile. He's actually insanely good. So that is the end of the Rescue Ace deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. Is Rescue Ace dead, or is there a way to play it? I think it's not dead, it's just not as good as a couple formats ago, because stuff like Malice can dodge the targeting traps. However, I still think it's worth at least experimenting with. It still is a fire deck as well. It can abuse good fire cards like Promethean Princess. So just keep an open mind, guys. When I say test this deck, it's actually very good in testing. It is very hand trap resilient. However, yes, it is Rescue Ace. You can brick, you can open the cards that you want to set, which is very sad. But that's just the beauty of the beast that is playing Rescue Ace. If you enjoy this type of content, if you've seen one of my videos before, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you all on the next upload.